Hi folks, thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to be doing a little bit different type of video. We're going to be looking at the parts of a microscope instead of looking at stuff under a microscope. Figured might be a good idea to give viewers out there a primer on how exactly a microscope works. So I was going to do a series of videos looking at the parts of a microscope, looking at my personal equipment, and how to get set up to start looking at things under a microscope. So to begin with, this is my microscope. Might notice that it's under a plastic cover. This is a dust cover. Your microscope is more than likely going to come with a dust cover. You should utilize your dust cover. Sure, the microscope looks very pretty and would make a fine display piece. But if you keep it uncovered, you're going to have issues with dirt and dust getting into it, and you're going to have issues with premature failures, all sorts of things that you don't want to deal with. Big problem is your lenses could get scratched. That's going to be the first thing you probably notice, is it's much more difficult to look at even the most simple things. So if you have a dust cover, use it. If you don't have a dust cover, go on to Amazon and buy one. I'm sure you can get one for under 15 bucks. Otherwise, go to microscope.com for all your microscopic needs. So we'll pop this dust cover off, revealing the microscope itself. Set this off to the side here. Now, my microscope is electronic, so it is powered through the back, and I have a power cable that's plugged into a power strip underneath of my desk. I use a power strip to protect it against surges, but also there is a fuse underneath of where the plug plugs in to do just the same thing. Never hurts to have an extra layer of protection. So when we're getting set up, we're going to take our plug, make sure it's in the right orientation, and we're going to hold on to the arm here and push it in as far as it will go. Make sure that it is firmly seated. And then we can flip on the switch. A little light comes on, and it is lit. So the first part we're going to talk about here is the illuminator, the light source. On this particular type of microscope, it's an LED light, and then this brightness adjustment lets it go from very little light, doesn't do you a whole lot of good here, to lots and lots of light. You can see how much it reflects. See that? So there we are. We're going to actually keep this thing powered down because we're not looking at things under the microscope today. So always turn off your microscope first before unplugging it. Don't unplug it while it's turned on. Just a normal safety thing there. So we'll get this turned around here, and we can see the bottom portion of the microscope. It's called the base. Like I said before, this upper portion here is the arm. If you're going to carry your microscope, you're going to be carrying it by the arm and by the base. Two hands, as securely as you possibly can. But in all reality, you are going to put it on your desk and you're going to leave it there. So upwards from the arm, we have the head, and the head swivels. This one goes all the way around, which is nice for my setup because I keep the plug in the back, and then I can keep the microscope right here, and it's very easy to view things. So this is a binocular microscope, and you can see there are two places to put eyepieces, and we pop off these covers here, and then your eyepieces slide in. And again, these are very necessary when your microscope is not in use. Keep it covered, because any dirt and dust getting in there will cause you all sorts of problems. But just to give you an idea here, pop the cover off, put the eyepiece in, pop the cover off, put the eyepiece in, and then you can use this Diopter Adjustment here to spread the eyepieces apart so that it's comfortable for you to view, just like so. We'll pop them out. And there are a few different options you can get with microscopes. So you can get a monocular microscope, so it just has the one eyepiece. That's just fine for getting started off with. Nothing wrong with those whatsoever. But for a little bit more eye relief, I like the binocular. That way you can kind of like let both eyes adjust instead of trying to focus through one eye only. If you are going to use a monocular one, you should get used to keeping your other eye open instead of closing it. You have all sorts of eye strain problems if you keep the one eye open and close the other one. And the third option is a trinocular. So you have two places for your eyepieces, and then one place that you can just keep your camera kind of permanently set up in. So that way it's easy for you to look at things and adjust while also projecting over to a computer or a display or something else. But as with my previous videos, I'm sure you're all very well aware, I usually just pop in one eyepiece and then have my camera in the other. Or I'll just keep one closed and then put the camera in. Doesn't really make much of a difference for what I'm doing here. Next important thing, this is your stage. So this is where your slides actually sit when you're viewing things, and this is the stage clip. So when we put our slide on, it fits into this little groove here, and then the clip holds the slide into place, so that way your slide isn't going to go hardly anywhere. It shouldn't go anywhere when you're looking through the microscope. So when you're when you're storing your microscope, it's important to keep your stage all the way at the bottom, and keep the lowest magnification objective lens set up. Reason being, you don't want to get started with the stage all the way at the top here, and with a higher objective lens, and then try to use your coarse adjustment. You'll end up cracking a lens, or cracking your slide, or you'll cause problems that you don't want to have. So just be safe, keep it on the lowest setting, and then keep your stage all the way at the bottom. No problem there. So then the next part here, we have the aperture. So this is what the light is ultimately shining through. So let me actually raise this stage up here. And most microscopes have coarse and fine adjustments on both sides. So if you don't see what I'm doing here, I'm just adjusting it from the opposite side. So anyway, underneath of it we have a condenser, and then we have a diaphragm. Basically we're just focusing this light in to a finer point so that we can focus it up through the slide and then into the objective lens. And with this particular microscope, we have places for filters. And I keep a blue filter in mine, kind of at all times. Usually it's just kind of set here out to the side when it's not in use. And then if I ever want to look at things through a blue filter lens, I'll just slide it into place just like so. And then with the condenser here, we can change the amount of light that we're allowing into the microscope. So there's a little lever here, you can kind of see it. There we are. That we can open and close, and it goes from being a pinhole of light to flood of light. All right, and like I said, coarse and fine adjustment. So the blue one is fine adjustment, the black one is coarse adjustment, and that's how it is on most microscopes. We have the coarse adjustment closest to the arm, fine adjustment furthest away, and you'll see this is very, very easy to move. I can move it with my pinky with no problem whatsoever, but the coarse is much harder because we're really moving the stage a lot. So we start off with lowest magnification with the stage at the lowest position, and then we're going to coarse adjust, bring the stage up closer to the objective lens until it starts to get in focus. And once you're in a pretty good spot, then you can use your fine adjustment to really zero in and get to the best possible place for viewing things properly. All right, and like I mentioned about 18 times now without ever really saying what they are, here are your objective lenses. So most microscopes are going to have 3 to 4 objective lenses here. These are permanently attached to the microscope, although you can switch them out if you break something, or if you happen to find compatible equipment that you want to upgrade to, something like that. But we have a 4x magnification. Next one up is a 10x magnification. Next one up is a 40x magnification. And the next one is kind of special. It's a 100x magnification oil immersion lens. So basically, with an oil immersion lens, the lens itself is convex or concave, one of the two. Basically, you put a drop of oil onto the specimen, and you have a drop of oil between the specimen or the between the specimen and the objective lens here, and you're viewing, or you're using the oil as your substrate to magnify the object, so you can get a lot higher magnification. If you don't use any oil, you can't really see anything with it. All right, and basically the way the magnification works, so the eyepiece itself has a base magnification. So this is an 18 millimeter eyepiece. This is a nice wide field of view eyepiece. It is a 10x magnification. So we take the eyepiece magnification, we multiply that by the objective lens magnification. So 10 times 4 is 40. 10 times 10 is 100. 10 times 40 is 400. 10 times 100 is 1,000. So with these particular eyepieces, we can get up to 1,000 magnification, or times magnification, which is pretty darn good for a relatively inexpensive microscope. Again, this is a Micro Explorer CM1 compound biological microscope. One other feature about this microscope that I like is kind of a common feature, but it's something that I personally appreciate because I'm kind of a dummy. There is a little stopper here. Kind of hard to see. I mean, maybe if I turned all the way around, you can see a little better. Yeah, there we are. So this little pin here, little thumb screw with a brass stopper, and then if you turn it around, you can kind of see. Let me shift that out of the way a little bit here. You can kind of see the pin that it's attached to, and what this is a stopper. So when you raise the stage up, when you get to a certain point, you're going to hit a hard stop. Can you hear that? Of course, the ambulances outside are very inconsiderate. Anyway, so this is to prevent you from causing damage to your equipment if you are negligent in adjusting. Basically, it keeps you from adjusting too much so that you crash into the objective lenses. It can still happen. This is not not meant to be a catch-all. It's just meant to be a hopefully preventative measure. But in all actuality, if you use the microscope correctly, you're not really going to have any issue where this little safety device even comes into play. but nonetheless, it's important that it exists. Anyway, that is the parts of a microscope. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, I'm going to do a few videos like this, kind of going over what equipment I have, and we'll set this thing up, and I'll show you exactly how to look through it in the third video in the series. So thank you again. I hope you have a great day, and yeah, be well.